It's your God Call with Reverend Bill.
When I say something like we're going to deepen into the awareness of our connection with Spirit, it can sound mysterious and somehow out of reach. But if I say we're going to get connected to an electrical outlet using an extension cord, well, that seems pretty obvious and everybody knows how to do that. Well, you can do the same thing in your connection to Spirit. Simply set the intention to have yourself connected to that divine source of all good, and then look for whatever cord happens to be around to make the connection happen. The good is yours right now.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine every day, every day, every day, every day. I'm gonna let my little light shine. On Monday, gave me the gift of love, and on Tuesday, peace from above. And on Wednesday, watching faith, and on Thursday, gave me a little more grace, and on Friday, watch and pray, and on Saturday, know what to say, and on Sunday, gave me the power divine just to let my little light shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine every day, every day, every day, every day. I'm gonna let my little light shine. On Monday, Tuesday, and on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, and on Saturday, on Sunday, give me the power divine just to let my little light shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine every day, every day, every day, in every way. I'm gonna let my little light shine.
Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is our way of clapping on Zoom. For those who don't know, it keeps the audio from getting overloaded. And good morning, good morning. Welcome to New Thought Philadelphia's spiritual celebration in the ether world. We're so grateful that you're here. I'm delighted to be in the presence of such divine lights. Please repeat after me. I open myself to love and healing.
I open myself to love and healing.
The love and
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to the awareness of the good surrounding me right now.
I open myself to the awareness of good surrounding me right now.
right here and
And
right
love is here.
Love is here.
And so it is.
So it is.
I'm Reverend Dave Schbach. Our music today is by the absolutely delightfully stellar Dawn Hyatt. Up next is Reverend Bill Marcioni.
Thank you, thank you. And Zoom, in an effort to make everybody happier and safer, has changed the rules again a little bit, which means that we do not have the ability to turn your mics off of mute. You need to do that yourself. So on the couple of occasions where we're going to be able to do some sharing, you'll have to unmute your own microphone. We can click a button that says, please unmute your microphone, but apparently that's it's a thing. So anyway. New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to celebrate their divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. So whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you to our Zoom today, wherever it is that you're Zooming next, we have been expecting you, and welcome home. We believe that there is one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us, and that we each use that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. Or as we say around New Thought Philadelphia, our new life begins with a new thought. If you have an extra piece of electronics equipment that might be disturbing or distracting you during the celebration, go ahead and turn it off so that we can focus. I was going to say focus within, but there's an immense amount of technology connecting us all together. So we'll just focus on our connectedness in all of that. We begin our celebration as we begin everything with a practical prayer. And this morning, our practical prayer is brought to us by Kathy Shevsky.
There is one power and presence that creates everything. It is love and intelligence sharing itself as all of creation. It has created me and each of us, and we use that power to continue to create our lives. This life is love. This life is joy. This life is infinite goodness sharing itself through us, each in our own particular way. The time that we share together today is a fresh new way that this good is coming into our lives. Each of us hears the words, connects with the music, and comes into a deeper understanding of the good that is at hand. This time is blessed, and I am grateful for it. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Kathy. And so the reason that we do a practical prayer is because it changes our experience. It actually gets a result. So if there is anybody who has been doing some practical prayer and has a prayer work story that you would like to share with the group, just go ahead and raise your hand or give us a wave and we'll unmute. And it looks like Breen has one. Go ahead, you're first.
I've got two.
Ooh.
One is the what sometimes we call the training wheels for parking spaces. We're in yellow phase now. Yay. And yesterday, Jane and I went to Ridley Creek State Park, go for a hike on their multi-use trail. And there's several places you can access the trail. I wanted to go to one certain spot, and I miscalculated my GPS and went to another spot, which was super crowded with parking. But I didn't want to park there anyway. And along the way, I said a practical prayer for divine order, perfect parking. We pulled around to the spot, and there's two overflow spots, but there's a lot right at the entrance to the trail. And the guy was loading up his bikes, and I said, "Are you?" He goes, "Sure am." He backed out, and I backed in, and we got a spot right at the trailhead, no problem. So that prayer worked. And then I've been working on taking the spiritual practices class, which has been awesome. And we're working on final projects for tomorrow evening to present. And I had something I wanted to create. And this is an example of an idea, and everything starts in thought. I had an idea, and then I created this thing, which some folks will see tomorrow night, and maybe other folks will see later. And I really had no idea what I wanted to do. I knew what I wanted to do, I didn't know how to do it. And I just stayed in prayer, and every step of the way unfolded. It's not a huge deal, but it's a perfect example of prayer working, that I made this thing that it didn't exist at all. And then when I was done, it existed in total. That's it. Everyone is muted.
Beautiful, thank you.
Continue the service.
Yeah. Anybody else have a prayer work story that you'd like to share? Jesus, of course, Jesus, and then Kathy.
Yeah, I had so many, but I'm just gonna say this one, because this is a collective practical prayer with all my classmates and my teacher, Reverend Dave, and they, a couple of weeks, around 2 weeks ago, I was, like they say, stagnant. I didn't have no movement with work or anything. So Reverend Dave guided me to this practical prayer because I wanted to like do some work, but also I wanted to. This is one of the only times I guess through Zoom that I haven't missed a class, because sometimes I used to miss a lot of classes because I have, according to my schedule. But this one, it was made so easy for me that I didn't miss a class. But then for me to do my work, my practice, because it's spiritual practice, it's not only the class, but you gotta, every day you gotta put some practice into your spirituality, which I had the time, and effortless, I did some, all of a sudden some work came, like 3 trips to Florida, like in a week and a half. And it was like in an effortless way. I started yesterday at 8 o'clock in the morning from West Palm, and I got here at 2:15 in the morning today, and I feel like energized. Like nothing been drained. It's like a rotation, a circle, and I could have. And my classmate helped me with this prayer, because they wrote a prayer for me, and I wrote one myself. So in a collective way, I had the A team. I had God, and I had my classmate. So nothing could have gone wrong. Everything went perfectly right. And I am grateful and I'm thankful. Thank you.
Wonderful. Yeah, and we got to tweak the class just a little bit, because when one of the classes, Jesus was driving back from Florida. So we said, okay, we did the meditation. Everybody close your eyes except Jesus. Kathy. Oh, you need to unmute. There you go.
Yeah. Hi. I've been worried, quotes around the worried about money. And my sister helped me do my taxes. And it turns out I'm owed money back from the credit for your health care. So the tax check coming back to me will be over $3,000.
Nice. Good for you. Awesome. Awesome. Did I see a little gesture out of Hannah?
Pardon me?
Hannah, you need to unmute. There you go.
I got it. Yeah, so I just moved to a new place, and my last place had gotten really overrun with fleas, and it was completely unmanageable, and I should have been more on top of it from the beginning. So Breen prayed with me last week also that, like, that my new place would be free of fleas, and that I would like take the actions that I needed to make sure that happened. And I've been here for a week, and I got like a couple bites when I first moved in, but then it's been fine since then. I washed all my stuff. My cat's been in quarantine in one room. So it's looking like it's gonna work out. So I'm very happy about that.
Delightful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we'll give that some applause. We have some announcements, and I would like to introduce our announceator today, Sarah Brown, who in addition to being the host of our celebration today is also the newest member of the Board of Trustees at New Thought Philadelphia. Joined the board at our meeting on Thursday night. So big thank you and congratulations to Sarah.
Thank you.
You get to help make the sausage.
Well, I'm excited to be part of the team no matter what we're going to be doing. Okay, so let me read you guys a little bit about what's going on. So the first thing, if you love us and want to hang out with us more in a virtual world, please join us on meetup.com. Eventually, when we're actually able to go out into the world again, this is where we're going to post everything, our classes, our workshops, our events, and Sunday celebrations. Obviously, you get those virtually now, but eventually one day we'll do them in person too. It's an easy place to let fellow adventurers know that you'll be at an event. We are hosting daily online meditation, prayer, and support calls. They're short, usually about 15 minutes long at the most, and they include a check-in and meditation on health, harmony, peace, and prosperity. Monday through Friday, you can do them at 8 in the morning or 6 in the evening. Saturday, they go at 9 in the morning, which is a new time, and Sunday, you'll have it at 6 p.m. It's the same information that you'd use to get on this celebration. The Practical Prayer Workshop is on Saturday, June 20th from 12:30 to 5. It will be held on Zoom. Learn the scientifically proven steps to effective and affirmative prayer that are common to virtually all the world's religions and spiritual practices. It's $25 and all are welcome. And I've done the Practical Prayer Workshop and I think it definitely is worthwhile, especially being the fact that we can do it on Zoom these days too. And for $25 to kind of just have a whole new tool set to put in your toolbox is really pretty amazing. I suggest.
I'm going to jump in. There's one that we're going to be announcing this week. This is the book. It is called The Art of Uncertainty by our friend Dennis Merritt Jones. And it's probably going to be a 4-week class. And we will be announcing the specifics on that one, but it's going to be open to everyone. There's no prerequisites that are involved. And the book, The Art of Uncertainty, How to Live in the Mystery of Life and Love It, seems particularly appropriate for this particular time. There's also a possibility that we're going to be able to have Dennis join us for a Q&A for one of the classes. So stand by for that one.
Awesome. Thank you. The Women's Circle will meet Thursday, June 25th, also by Zoom. Contact Joe or Sandy for details. Reverend Bill leads the teen group for CSL Delaware, and today is the meeting day. So if you know a teen, have a teen, reach out to Reverend Bill immediately and we can get them connected for the celebration. We're now able to accept donations and PayPal via credit cards in addition to PayPal. So just hit the donate button on our website. It is secure and it could do reoccurring donations as well if you'd like to do that. Thanks to the production team who makes our Zoom celebrations work. We meet on Saturday before Sunday. Oh my God, that's how time works. And we do like a run through of everything. So if you'd like to be part of the team, contact Reverend Bill and join us. The reverends and practitioners are available for healing prayer sessions. You can contact them through the website. If you'd like to get an urgent prayer done today at no charge, you can reach out to Reverend Dave by Zoom chat or email him at Reverend Dave or revdave@newthoughtphilly.org, and you can set up a brief phone call. If you want to chat with us, we're going to leave the Zoom meeting open a little bit afterwards. We can answer questions, allow you to talk to one another, pretty much just use the space. It's fun. And that's it.
Thank you, Sarah. Woohoo! Thank you so much for that. And when we're in person, we like to get whoever's a first-time visitor or second-time visitor to raise their hand and self-identify so we can welcome and greet you. If you'd like to wave your hand and identify yourself as a first or second timer right now, you're welcome to do that. Some people have their video turned off, so we're not seeing that. So what we are all going to do is, for these people and for the people who are just showing up here for the first time today, we're going to rub our hands together, generate a little loving warmth. I'm going to send that out and see it reflected back with everyone who's involved. We are the bright lights of God's love. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the loving way that you shine your light and share your love. And welcome home. As Dawn does our next song, just look around the group and look into the eyes of God and know that you're also looking through the eyes of God. And just have some love and gratitude for the folks who are sharing the journey with you. Dawn, your mic is muted. Dawn, you're still muted. It could have worked so
I
perfectly.
didn't touch anything, but here we go. There is a candle in every soul, some burning brightly, some dark and cold. There's a spirit who brings a fire, ignites a candle, and makes it home. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the hopeless, confused and torn. Hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle, go light your world. Frustrated brother, see how he's tried to light his own candle other ways. See now your sister, she's robbed and lied to, still holds a candle without a flame. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the helpless, deceived and poor. Hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle, go light your world.
Beautiful. Thank you, Dawn. And a quick shout out to Jeff Hyatt, producer, recording engineer extraordinaire, who is making the sound from the Hyatt household as spectacular as it is. We're not going to do our Flames of Faith, and it's going to be read today by Carla Ann, and Reverend Dave is going to switch on the candle cam.
We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine, feminine, and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of the primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As Reverend Dave lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone or any place you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Blessed be. Our reading today is from the Science of Mind textbook by Ernest Holmes, kind of one of the founding documents for our particular branch of New Thought. And that's going to be shared today by Sandy, who I see has moved out of the fortress and is now on the couch.
I have this on my screen, so I have to bring it up close to my face so I can see it. So I apologize for such a deep close-up.
It's intimate.
Yes. Treatment is not something one does to another, nor something one does to an environment, nor to a situation. It's always the thing one does to himself. Whatever method enables him to do this is a good method, a good way. Treatment is an action in thought alone. It opens up the avenues of thought, expands the consciousness, and lets reality through. It clarifies the mentality, removes the obstructions of thought, and lets in the light. We already live in a perfect universe, but it needs to be mentally seen and spiritually experienced before it can become a part of our everyday life. When we treat for right action, we should start with the supposition that right action already is. We don't create the right action. Something must come into the treatment which is uncompromising and absolute. Troward says that we enter the absolute in such degree as we withdraw from the relative, and that we withdraw from the relative in such degree as we enter the absolute. What he meant was this: in such degree as the answer and the result is contingent upon any existent circumstances, any existing known fact, no matter how apparent, the treatment is not in the absolute. It is in the relative and necessarily conditioned by the contingent which is held in the mind. Let us take a concrete example. Suppose I'm confronted with a problem and don't know the answer to it. Every known fact is against the working out of this problem. I say, I wish to treat this situation. I wish to handle it scientifically from the standpoint of spiritual science. My treatment then must not consider the facts. The facts are relative. The treatment must become absolute. I wish to get it over into mind as a complete acceptance, not of the old fact, but of the new one. In such degree as this treatment partakes of the nature of reality, is it going to have power. It can have only as much power as I embody. This is the limitation of treatment, not limitation in principle, but in performance. The thing itself, of course, isn't limited. As we've proven that principle is not bound by precedent, we go into that realm which says, behold, I make all things new, not carrying with us the limited belief of the reason why. Any denial we make in treatment is simply to conduct us to a place of greater affirmation.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sandy. And by treatment, that's Ernest Holmes's word for practical prayer. Dawn, it looks like it's on.
Out of the ruins and rubble, out of the smoke, out of We can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels, but we can build a city of man. We may not reach the ending, but we can start. Slowly but surely mending, brick by brick and heart by heart. Now, maybe now, we start learning how we can build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels, but we can build a city of man. When your trust is all but shattered, when your faith is all but killed, you can give up bitter and battered, or you can slowly start to build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Oh, we can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels, but we can build a city of man.
Excuse me. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you so much. Now I have to work through the emotions. Let's all take a deep breath. Yeah. What a beautiful sentiment and a truth. And I'm going to ask this to the general. Am I echoing? Because I am at my end, so it's going to be really strange for me, but that's okay. I'm used to that. So today's talk was something about God. Now, when we generally talk about putting these celebrations together, I have to say that we generally use this as a bit of a joke. You know, we go about, what are you going to talk about this week? And we say, oh, something about God. And I got to thinking about that and said, you know, that's actually a topic. Without a doubt, is that a topic? Because there is just something about God. There's something that we want to connect with, what we want to know more about. Now, I want to get clear first, because some people have an aversion to the word God. Generally, this aversion has developed from a misunderstanding of what we mean by that particular phrase, or some former negative idea or experience that has been associated with it. So we are not talking about the anthropomorphized, neurotic, slightly abusive parent figure that deity has been expressed as in the past. That is the old idea of God. Up in the clouds, slightly bigger than we are, certainly more powerful than we are, making decisions about yes, no, and maybe. This is not what we're talking about. When we talk about God, what we are talking about is that infinite power, that allness of life, that divine intelligence that unfolded all of this. So when we're not talking about a larger human being, right? We are an embodiment of an idea in the mind of God, but only one. I mean, this is a mind that has created the universe that we know and beyond what we can possibly understand, let alone what we know now. This is the power that we are talking about. This is that power that is responsive to us in that it is living through us and as us in this and each moment. So I wanted to start by saying, like quite often, when we have vestiges of this old idea of some separate idea of deity, of a power outside of ourselves, a power that exists in a unique individualized form other than us, we have this idea that we're going to say, did God really do that? And the answer is yes. So I'm going to put out some things that may be very uncomfortable, but if we want to look at this thing, this idea of spirit or God or universal power or divine intelligence of mind itself, we're going to need to address these ideas of separation in all of their varieties. So we are going through a moment in time where consciousness is changing. It is uplifting to a higher level, a demand for a greater expression of the truth of who we are, a demand for the actual truth of equality in our time that is required for us to each recognize that everyone, everywhere is an expression of this divine harmony that is life. So did God die under somebody's knee? Yes. Did God put a knee on somebody's neck? Yes. Did God create war and famine and children dying? Yes. Did God create love and harmony and peace and power and all of the good that we could ever find? Yes. Because there is only one. You cannot say that there is only one power and present that is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, and ever active, and not include some part of it. That is a hard truth. It's one we may not want to look at really, truly, and closely to say, what did I do to participate in this? Whether that was complicity or active negation of life in some way. And in actuality, we all have these abilities at a scale from, like from atrocious to enlightened. And those scales are often balancing just a little bit in one way or the other, because we live in this continuum of everything is possible within the infinite mind of God. Does this create pain in our lives? Yes. To ignore that would be completely blind to the existence and the conditions which we experience. But it also creates the opportunity for love and intimacy and compassion to grow, to express itself through us in more than just the major moments in history, but in each moment of our personal history. Because God, that infinite power, and I use the shorthand because it's just easier to say that divine intelligent power that is the back of all life, that expresses the entire universe of matter and beyond in each sentence. So we just shorten that down. That's what I mean by God. When I say God, some people prefer spirit. When we are talking about that, we have to realize that everything that everyone on this planet does is some part of that. It's some part of our conscious evolution of deciding whether or not we want to be life positive or life negative. We do that individually every single day. We do that with our words, with our thoughts, with our activities. We choose, and sometimes we choose blindly, not knowing what the results are, because there's no way for us to think up a scenario in which the results of our actions are plausible to us. But we move anyway. This is what's happening in the world right now. This is the protest going on in the world right now. We do not know where this goes. We don't know how to get from where we are right now to where we would like to be, where there is equality and justice, which is a really slippery term because justice for some is not justice for others. Right? But where we can get to a place of agreement that these things are required for the necessity of evolving human consciousness to bring about a greater expression of life. We know that shooting people is not generally a good idea, generally. There are instances where we may have made excuses for that, but in the allness of love, anything that is life negative is an excuse not to realize that we are only harming ourselves. Because we are indeed all one. There cannot be a unity of life if we are not all part of it. There cannot be a wholeness in the individual if there is not a wholeness in the society. And I mean the global society. There cannot be freedom for one if there is not freedom for all. There can be privilege, and there is certainly a great deal of that. By the way, the word privilege stems from the idea of private law, which is an idea of separation, which is not one of unity. So here's another thing about God. God is always responding to itself. It must respond to itself. It is its very nature to respond to itself and act upon that response to bring it into being. And we, as individualized expressions of this divine life, are consciously aware of the choices that we make most of the time. And when we're consciously aware of the choices we make, we have to realize that there is an infinite power that is acting upon those choices and bringing them about. Now, some people may say, we do that through several forms: prayer, meditation, affirmations, all sorts of ways that we retrain our thinking into a positive expression of life. Sometimes we do that on the negative side. It's called worry, or negative speech. We reinforce that thinking and hence get to experience that in our lives, either to a greater or lesser degree. But in New Thought, the idea of an affirmative prayer is that we are moving from a place of an old thought to a new thought. And that new thought is more closely aligned with the truth of a life-affirming principle back of the condition that we are currently experiencing. And in our movement, there's a tendency to think, well, I did the prayer, now I'm done. And yes, a prayer is actually whole and complete in itself. It's an entity in the mind of God, if you will. But that does not necessarily change our internal subconscious programming about what we accept in life. So the simple truth is it's never a one and done. Does it seem that we've been in this situation before? Yes, we have. Probably many times throughout history. But where we are now is one turn up the cycle, and we are returning to it again with a greater awareness, with a greater understanding of what needs to happen, perhaps with a greater determination to be consistent and persistent after the rallies are done and the protests subside, to be persistent in applying what we understand of human collective governance and consciousness to the basis of how we are going to live in the future, because there's a lot of work to be done to dismantle that which is not life affirming and to assemble that which is. It would be nice, and I really wish it were so, to be able to sit on my purple pillow, which is what I do, and envision a world of harmony, peace, and prosperity for all, of advancement of humankind, of expansion into the solar system and hence perhaps the galaxy, of moving forward with all of the good that brings us. Have you ever read a book where there was just a line of something really noble in it and it just brings a tear to your eye? And it might be something silly, it might be something momentous, but whatever it was, there was an emotion that came forward with the nobility of the human act, or it's just the idea of the nobility of the human act that connects us with this ideal of the highest expression of humanness that we can have. Those are the things we need to strive. Those are the for and codify in our laws and in our activities and in how we associate with each other. For when we do that in consciousness and bring it about in reality, we will move towards a higher existence in which all people are equal, in which justice is understood as a constant. Perhaps we can even figure out what the definition of that is. In which there is no starvation in the world, in which we hold our arms for the protection of all. The possibilities are endless, and the possibilities are ours to create. But we must have a vision of it first. A movement without a vision goes nowhere. And that's the truth throughout history. A movement without a vision goes nowhere. We cannot just be against something. We must be for something. Because if we are not for something better than that which we are against, we will be doomed to repeat it yet again and wonder why we got here again. So whatever the vision that you have is of how we can live with more peace and harmony and justice in the world today, know that there is a power greater than us, so great that it created the entirety of all existence, that supports itself fully in all of its activities, that is available to us, and all we need to do is recognize it and put a clear idea into it and maintain that integrity of the clear idea and allow it to unfold, because as it unfolds, it will move us to action that is appropriate to that. Without a vision of love and harmony and compassion, of equality and peace, we cannot have these things. However that is for you, and you need to make a decision about what that is for you, because without a clarity in your own ideas and expression of them, there can be no clarity in what we are trying to achieve together. For the movement forward now will require much negotiation and collaboration and willingness and time and effort to bring the emotional response that we're having to life negative situations in this moment of protest and evolution into a positive result that is available to all, not just some. To all, for we are all one. One life, one mind, one love. Use it. I'll do my best to as well. Namaste.
Maybe we can never house the homeless. Rid the streets of violence and crime. Make the world a safe place for the children, but we can try. Maybe we can never feed the hungry. Chase every warplane from the sky. Do away with ignorance and hatred, but we can try. Sometimes I feel so helpless, 'cause all I can do is my best. But even the longest journey begins with a single step. Maybe we won't always find forgiveness. Give our wildest dreams the wings to fly. Maybe we won't always love our neighbors, but we can try. Sometimes I feel so helpless, but I'm gonna do my best. 'Cause even the longest journey begins with a single step. Maybe we won't always find forgiveness. Give our wildest dreams the wings to fly. Maybe we won't always love our neighbors, but we will try. We can try. We can try. We can try to help each other. We can try. We're all sisters and brothers. We can try. We can try. We can try. We can try.
Beautiful, Dawn. Thank you. Thank you so much. So we get to spend a little time with the most important person in our life, which is ourselves. You know, as as Dawn was singing about in the song, and Reverend Dave was talking about, the creative process is always working, and there's input that comes from all sorts of different directions. You know, there's the phrase, "Don't just do something, sit there," because sometimes what we need to do is allow Spirit to guide us into what's ours to do, what's the next thing that we need to take part in. And other times it's time to move our feet. So there are lots of people out on the streets in the middle of a pandemic, hopefully wearing masks and taking care of themselves, but bringing something new into life. We always have the opportunity to be in that point of balance. And sometimes we look at a problem and we think that the problem doesn't have a solution because we're thinking about the solution in the same way that we're framing the problem. Our friend Mike, who's in the Zoom call today, sends around interesting emails every once in a while. He sent one around with what he called useless information. And I love that sort of stuff because I envision that someday I'll be on Jeopardy and it will make me a winner. And I probably don't need to know that a whale's heart is the size of a Volkswagen. But one of the things that was in there was about homelessness. So homelessness is a problem in this country of people who are not able to find a place to live. And there's a challenge that's coming our way again based on the economic thing that's going on as a result of the pandemic. But the interesting fact is that there are enough abandoned homes and buildings in the United States that every homeless person could have 6. When we think about it that way, it changes the problem. The problem is one of distribution. It's about harmony. It's about pieces fitting together. And as Reverend Dave mentioned, changing from looking at the problem to having a new solution is not a one and done process. As it says on the shampoo bottle, lather, rinse, repeat. So what we're going to do in our meditation today is we're going to open ourselves just a little tiny bit more to the good that exists everywhere. The meditation is something about God. So what I invite you to do is to get yourself into a comfortable position with your spine as straight as you can comfortably get it. Close your eyes or go into a soft focus unless you're driving, Jesus. Take a deep breath in and let it go. As you take the next deep breath in, feel yourself filled with the infinite power and presence that is God. Whatever's the greatest imagination or understanding you have of God. And as you breathe out, relax, let go, and settle into the presence of the infinite that is within you right here and now. And on your next breath in, breathe in something about God, the highest idea that you can have now, understanding that in this moment it can be even deeper and even broader than it was in the previous. Let yourself be filled with it. As you breathe out, relax. Settle into that divine presence. It is the heart and the truth and the core of everything. Breathe in, feel yourself filled with that divine mind that is God, the mind that knows everything, the mind that understands everything, the mind that fits all of the pieces together. And breathe out, relax into the knowing that that mind is your mind, that mind is my mind, that mind is her mind now. And to the degree that we're willing to listen, we can be guided and informed and instructed by that divine mind. Breathe, take another deep breath in and let it go. And as we go into the quiet together, continue the breathing, continue expanding your awareness, allowing something about God to be even bigger and grander and closer with every breath.
Continue breathing into this newness, this idea. As I speak this word on behalf of each one in this celebration in everyone, everywhere. Recognizing the divine nature of life, the infinite wholeness and unity that is all there is, the unconditioned field of love is finding form through and as all of expression, all of life. The divine mind, the infinite intelligence back of all creation that is sharing itself through and as everything. For I know that I live, move, and have my being as an individualized center of consciousness within the one. Knowing this of myself, I know this of each one on the call as well, and everyone everywhere, that that same consciousness that is the divine mind, the infinite wisdom, the allness of life is finding a unique and joyous, wonderful expression of itself through the channel of everyone. So I speak this word on behalf of each one, knowing that that divine goodness that is life itself, that divine harmony and peace, balance, joy, and abundance that is the very nature of spirit is coming forward as new ideas, new activities, new modes of being for a greater expression of its own life through the avenue of each person. It is bringing about the awareness of the unity of itself in and as and through all people, all of our brethren animals, all of the life on this planet, and all of the life everywhere, supporting itself for the highest expression of good through us and as us. I know that all of the solutions that are ever required are now present in the minds of each one, and that they are coming forward to express a greater individual life, a greater life for our communities, a greater life for our nations, for our planet. One of peace and harmony, joy and abundance that is a reflection of the very nature of being, expressed for and through all. I just give thanks to speak this word of recognition, knowing that the moment is now. The moment is happening right now. That this idea of good is bubbling forward, is embedded in the infinite consciousness, and that the law is responding to it. That same law that has said yes to every idea that has ever been implanted in it is now saying yes to the love. Yes to the awareness. Yes to the unity of life. Yes to the goodness of being. Yes to the prosperity and love shared. For this is its very nature. And that law has all of the power that was ever required, is required now, or will ever be required to bring it about into form. For that's what it does. It says yes. Yes to the good. Yes to the love. Yes to the peace. And so, knowing that this word is whole and complete, an expression of truth as it stands in this very moment now, revealed through this activity and this idea, I allow it and release it to the activity of law, knowing that it is returning fulfilled in this moment now. It is good. It is happening now. It is good. I allow it. I accept it. I stand in this truth and I know it. And so it is. So I invite you to take a breath. Bring with it all of the good that has come forward through this meditation, through all of the ideas, through all of the activities that are bubbling forward as the next right step. And bring your awareness back into your physical form as we listen to some more music.
Takes a lot more courage than you know just to walk on through these halls. Got a lot to give and a kind old soul, but I carry a heavy load. You see, I'm just 16 and a mother to be. I lay between the sheets of life, and I see the rise as they breeze by, and I see the way they roll. My God is bigger than this. My God is bigger than this. This I know. We were 21 when we said I do, with youthful hope as we idealized all the things we know and all the places we go, loving each other, growing old. Well, we left this house 10 years ago and off to where I do not know. Off to slay some dragons, search for fairy tales, or just wandering off alone. My God is bigger than this. My God is bigger than this. My God is bigger than this. This I know. Well, I raised her right, and she ought to know just how I love her so. But she's stubborn, strong-willed, just like myself, and Or's words bring sorrow. And how 20 years can come and go, this I can't begin to know. But she's all grown now, and she's leaving home, and now I'm left here all alone. My God is bigger than this. My God is bigger than this. My God is bigger than this. This I know. My God is bigger than this. My God is bigger than this. My God is bigger than this. This I know. This I know. This I know. My God is bigger than this. This I know.
Thank you, Dawn. Now I need more tissue. I love it when the music so touches my heart. So this is the time we like to check in with the community. We call it our wisdom share because this is the part where the posse is the preacher, because it comes through us all in different ways. And we like to see if there's anything you guys want to share with the rest of the community. I see Joe's hand.
Hi, this was a very emotional celebration for me. And there's two quotes that I found this week that kind of helped me, and I wanted to share them. One is from the Talmud. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. You are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it. And the other one was the Buddha's smile of unbearable compassion represents the eternal lesson of paradox. And they just really called out to me during today's celebration. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Sandy? You get to unmute yourself.
Yep. So I wanted to thank you for your share today. I mean, I don't know how many places you can go where you can hear God is one, and that everything that's happening now is all God. And hearing that today, it shifted something inside of me. And I really got, like, I'm a human being and I have choice. And to look at where am I responsible anywhere for what's going on, and where am I complicit in what's going on? You use those words. And I feel like there's so much room for me to really look at where am I complicit and where am I responsible. And I feel like empowered by that. Because like there's always that question, well, what do I do? What do I really do that's substantive moving forward? And if I really look at the places in my life, I can find plenty of places where I'm complicit, and I can also find places where I can help, because I have so many doors open to me that I can open doors for other people. So thank you. I feel like really like energized.
Thank you, Sandy. Carol.
Thank you. You spoke of opposing things, and then if we oppose them, we're not changing them without having a vision. And that's true in many areas. And the one that I think of most often is in parenting, that if we parent in opposition to what how our parents parented us, all we do is perpetuate that parenting. Yeah, so it's a general principle. It's really important. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Anyone else? Cool. I believe that's you, Sarah.
Okay. I just turned my phone on, so just give me 1 second. I got it right here. Okay. New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gift you share helps fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We are grateful for every way you share. We don't have a basket today, but there is a donate button on the homepage, and you can also mail a check to the office in Ardmore. The offering affirmation is in your program. You can stand if you'd like and say with me. We'll go ahead and start now. I live in an
abundant universe.
I am one infinite source of all. I am a center of conscious prosperity. I enjoy the richness of life. I bless my gift. I share my gift with gratitude and joy. I know that as I give, I do receive, and so it is.
Peace I am, peace I am, quiet, calm, steady, sure, peace I am, love I am, love I am, quiet, calm, steady, sure. Love I am, joy I am,
Beautiful, Dawn. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for all of the gifts and all of the generosity, the way that each of you individually and all of us together are sharing our gifts and bringing more light, more love, more good, more prosperity, more health and harmony into our community, into our lives, and into our world. Amen. So it is.
So everybody reach out and hold the mind of the person next to you. Just hold everybody in love and light. Let's say after me, I am the love.
I am the love.
I am the light.
I am the light.
I share my love.
I share my love.
And I shine my light.
And I shine my light.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Amen. All right. Stick around for our conversation and your coffee. If you'd like, we'll keep the Zoom room open. If you'd like to do a urgent prayer session, just send me either a chat or an email, and we'll set up a phone call to have a little quick private chat. Love you. Blessings.
Thank you.